by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing. And by Rooms to Go. July 4th sale going on now at Rooms to Go. Shop and save store-wide. 92 degrees, a heat advisory today in Atlanta, but it has cooled off some as we have gotten toward the evening hours here, and we are ready at the Battery at Truist Park for Game 3 of this series between the St. Louis Cardinals and the Atlanta Braves. Take a look at the St. Louis Cardinals lineup presented by Racetrack. They have the youngest team in baseball. They have the second youngest manager, though it is his 40th birthday today, so happy 40th to Ollie Marmol. Now the only manager left in his 30s in Major League Baseball is Blake Butera of the Washington Nationals. And going against that lineup is the 24-year-old from South Georgia, Hurston Waldrop.
And kind of like last year, his first appearance of this year was out of the bullpen. In just a couple of innings for him. We're expecting a little bit more here now in his first start. Last year was a great year. 6-1 with that 2.88 ERA. Really made his mark here with the Atlanta Braves, and it is good to have a healthy Hurston Waldrop back.
Well, what do you have for our Ford Keys tonight, my friend?
So you got a command to expand tonight, and that is the one thing with Hurston Waldrop in the minor leagues during rehab. The one appearance that we saw, the walks were a little bit high. So that command, it's got to be a little bit tighter if you want to get deeper in the game. And the right fight, the Braves are picking the right fight tonight. Why? Because against Dustin May, he has dominated right-handed hitters. They've gotten every possible lefty that they have been able to get into this lineup tonight, including Ozzie Albies as a switch hitter. That means 7 left-handed bats for Dustin May that he has to face this evening.
Braves defense from Racetrack. Dubon, Harris, and Yaz. How about Jim Jarvis out there? First start at Truist Park, the 3rd of Jim Jarvis's big league career. So he had a couple of starts on a West Coast trip in June, but I'm sure some new jitters being in front of the home fans here.
And this had everything to do with Dustin May being on the mound tonight, right? And trying to figure out a way to get as many left-handed bats that you could. Started thinking about the left side of the infield. He was really the only guy that they could bring up.
And away we go, right on time here at Truist Park. It's the crew chief back there behind home plate tonight, Alan Porter, calling the balls and strikes. Second pitch towards Ozzie, and he cannot stop it. And Weatherholt is going to reach.
Looked like Ozzie was going to have a chance to be able to get to this baseball. Hit pretty hard, but it goes right underneath his glove against the 95-mile-an-hour sinker from Hurston Waldrop. That ball stayed down. Looked like Ozzie thought it was going to come up a little bit more.
First hit of the series for the rookie J.J. Weatherholt. Right down the chute to Ivan Herrera. It is good to have Hurston Waldrop back in the center of that diamond here at Truist Park. Coming out of the bullpen last Friday in San Francisco, but now first start of the season here, and just the 12th start of his young and budding career. One to Herrera, and this will get into the seats 1 and 2. We had the conversation the other day about how some pitchers like to have on long sleeves even in the hotter, more humid weather, and that's what Waldrop is going with tonight.
Yeah, some guys like the feel. I played with a guy who did that in the really hot weather because he felt like he would give away his pitches with forearm movement. And he's so paranoid about it that he wore sleeves all the time, no matter what.
That splitter did not split. Unfortunately, it hits the back of Herrera, and there are 2 on here to start the game.
We know when it is right. This is the money pitch for Hurston Waldrop, but like the curveball that finished up and in, right? We saw one earlier in this at bat, and now a split. He doesn't quite finish it and leaves it arm side, and that one catches Herrera.
I know it's early, but when you see a couple of misses like that, does that tell you anything?
That's first inning, right? He's probably going a little bit quick right now. You mentioned even though he's done it before, there's probably a little bit of those jitters that we get from a lot of pitchers, and so he just might be going a little bit too fast, and so you try to course correct by slowing down.
For whatever reason, Ivan Herrera, who just got hit by a pitch, has been a magnet for the baseball this year. That is the 23rd time he's been hit by a pitch this season. That is the most in baseball.
On top of the plate and staying in there, right? Not flinching too often is usually what's going to cause that.
The Charlotte native Alec Burleson, 0 for 5 with a couple of strikeouts so far here in Atlanta. Stays fair, and Olsen will go to first, his only play. So Burleson with a productive out to put 2 in scoring position.
Now Matty thought about it, and if anybody can make that throw to second base, Matt Olson is the guy that can do it. He's usually pretty aggressive, but he didn't like what he saw, and he decided to go ahead and take the out at first base.
Right fielder Jordan Walker has 1 RBI in this series. He's hoping to add to that total here. The Decatur High School grad, like our wonderful producer Gretchen Caney. And there are mom and dad. Dad Derek, mom Katrina. Dad Derek, all he did was graduate from MIT. Mom Katrina did her undergrad work at Harvard.
Oh.
So there was a lot of pressure on Jordan Walker. He hits this high and deep out to left center. Dubon at the wall, and it is out of here. Against the team he grew up cheering for, Jordan Walker with a 3-run homer.
First pitch that Jordan Walker fouled back was a cutter that missed in the middle of the plate. So Hurston Waldrop went to a split, and this one also misses in the middle of the plate. Right, he's hanging it there. He's ahead in the count. He wants to bury that pitch and try to get some chase for a swing and miss, but instead sitting in the zone. And Dubon looked like he was trying to make another run. Of course, he robbed a homer in last night's ball game, but couldn't get to that.
Coming up swinging, Newbar bounces to Ozzie. More looks at the pitch, and then the reaction there. Certainly not where Waldrop wanted that one.
No, and more often than not, when we look at home runs and hard hit balls, that is what you're going to see. And that is something that is missed over the heart of the plate. You saw the reaction from Hurston Waldrop right away, and mom and dad, and perhaps the smartest mom and dad in this entire ballpark, enjoying watching their son.
Well, that is a cool moment for Walker and his family. Just not a cool moment for Waldrop and the Atlanta Braves here, as St. Louis grabs a 3-0 lead. But Jordan Walker, he had committed to Duke. He's also a very smart kid before getting drafted. And moving on to the professional ranks and now having a breakout season here. There's a splitter again, getting hit pretty hard. It's Mason Wynn this time with a single.
That would look like it moved in a direction that Hurston Waldrop did not want it to move. Just watching the pitch by itself, I thought it was a cutter. Oh, that is the cutter. As you see the grip there, it actually showed up as a split. But you see how he's on the side of the baseball? He's trying to get a little bit further away at 83 miles an hour.
And more visible frustration from Waldrop.
So that actually might have been a slider, which we don't see a lot of. I'm thinking about the velocity and where that was, because his cutter is usually going to be in the low 90s. Last year that pitch sat around 93, a split at 87, but the slider also around 87. So looking at the grip in that pitch, that probably was the slider. A rare misread that we got there from StatCast.
Nathan Church, just one hit in the series, but it was a big one. That was a 3-run homer on Tuesday night to the Chop House. 2 balls and 2 strikes here to Church, the center fielder. He's still a rookie, even though he debuted at the end of last year. He didn't go past those rookie limits. Former 11th round pick out of UC Irvine. Reaches for it, hits it out to Harris. So an early hole for the Braves after the Walker 3-run homer. Now Drake Baldwin is going to lead it off here for the Atlanta Braves. Drake does have a couple of hits in this series. Lineup is brought to you by Racetrack, but Ozzie Albies has done the majority of the damage. 4 RBI here, including a homer yesterday in this series for Ozzie. See if the Braves can keep it going against the former Dodger, then briefly a Red Sox, and now St. Louis Cardinal Dustin May.
He's been really good, as we mentioned in our open, against right-handed hitters. Struggles against the lefties. 4-seam fastball, cutter, sweeper, 2-seamer, changeup, curveball.
And his last 2 starts, we showed it in the open. You talked about it, CJ, but you want to talk about feast or famine. June 15th against the Padres, complete game shutout, 1 hit, 9 strikeouts. Comes back on the 21st against the Royals, only lasts 2 innings and gives up 6 runs. And then he missed a start last turn because of some low back tightness. So it'll be interesting to see how he performs tonight.
Yeah, and that's something that can be a real problem for pitchers, and you feel like, okay, I can plow through it. But if that back is not right, it will affect your command significantly.
Baldwin questioning Alan Porter. That was close. 2-1.
And I was told that pitch in particular for Dustin May with these lefties is critical. And that is the cutter. Talked about it with Bryce Elder and the great job he was doing for the longest time against lefties, having that cutter to keep those left-handed hitters honest. If you can command it, it helps him quite a bit against lefties.
Baldwin out to center. Well, that's hits in 3 straight for Drake Baldwin. Feel like he's turning a corner.
You see what he gets here, and that is the sweeper from Dustin May. This one, though, sat a little bit too middle and where you want it. You can't give Drake Baldwin that opportunity. You can try to crowd him, but you give him that much space where he can get barrel to it, he will find a way.
So good signs for Baldwin. And now Ozzie Albies, who has been swinging a really hot bat. Now 48 RBI after the recent surge, just 4 shy of Matt Olson for the team lead. And the homer from last night to the chop house.
He had the big double in his first at bat, and then he got all of this one that he hit out to right field. And the kind of compliments you hear from, I think, opposing teams, opposing broadcasters about your players are always really encouraging. And Mark Sweeney told me today, it's like, man, I really do love watching Ozzie swing the bat, watching him play. We talked about him quite a bit, right? You dig in onto other players, and when you hear from another big leaguer, it's always a nice compliment to let you know that Ozzie has been in a great place right now.
And they always appreciate the joy that he plays with. Seems like Ozzie never has a bad day. He stayed away from it. 2-2-99 that time from May.
It's probably really tough for, in this situation, a third base umpire when Ozzie is hitting. And that is because Ozzie's always in swing mode, right? So you get a lot of check swings with him. But he does a pretty good job of keeping his hands back. But he makes your work down there as a base umpire.
The 6'6" righty ready with a 3-2 pitch. Missed low. Bases loaded. Let's take a look at the defense behind Dustin May. Brought to you by Racetrack. Newbar, Church, and Walker. And Jordan had a couple of errors yesterday at third base, so keep an eye on that. He's had some struggles defensively this year. So the Cardinals got their first 2 on in the top of the inning. Now the Braves do the same in the bottom half. And Matt Olson fouls away the curveball.
In somewhat similar fashion, right? Base hit by pitch for the Cardinals, base hit and a walk here for the Braves.
So who's going to have the 3-run homer?
I mean, if it goes exactly the way this thing is going, it's going to be Michael Harris.
With another Atlanta kid. That would be fitting.
I think the thing worth noting in the Ozzie at bat for all these left-handed hitters tonight is that was a 3-2 cutter. And you look to see where's the guy going to go, and obviously Ozzie's been red hot, but wanting to stay away from his fastball against Ozzie and trying to get something moving even in a full count.
Waldrop hoping the offense can pick him up here as he talks with pitching coach Jeremy Hefner. Two and two. Surprisingly, Olson has really struggled against May. 0 for 8, 5 strikeouts.
And when you consider how Dustin May has really struggled against lefties, it almost doesn't make sense. But there just are certain guys sometimes that you don't see well. But maybe tonight's the night for Matty.
May, like Waldrop, just a bit off with his command on this steamy night. And he walks another one. Bases loaded. Nobody out. Harris to the plate.
Walks obviously are one thing, and the command struggles for Dustin May here early on. The body language, though, is what you don't like seeing when you're in the Cardinal dugout right now with these misses and almost reacting like, man, I don't know what's going on right now. Why am I not putting the baseball where I want to?
Opportunity for Harris. Another miss. Struggles against the Braves for Dustin May. Again, long time with the Dodgers, although he did have a couple of arm injuries mixed in there. And then he finished last year briefly with the Red Sox after the deadline.
It's a good sweeper right there. I was thinking maybe he goes cutter. It's not going to be as big, but he located that sweeper extremely well. That is his #1 pitch when it comes to strikeouts, and most of them coming on that sweeper. Two grand slams in the career of Michael Harris. He is a .310 hitter with the bases loaded.
And he's got a good count here. 2-1. Hacking, fouling away the cutter. Well, in the top of the first, it was the Atlanta kid from Decatur High School, Jordan Walker, that provided 3 runs. What will the Stockbridge High School native Michael Harris do? 2-2 pitch coming. He froze him with a sweeper for the first out.
It's a pretty good one here. It's going to be off the plate for a while, even though it was called in. That's where they actually wanted it. It finishes on the outer third for a backdoor called third strike.
May deals to Dubon. He's already 3 RBIs short of his career high. He had 47 a couple of years ago. He's got 44 right now with 3 ducks on the pond.
It seemed like Doobie was pretty intent on him throwing a strike there. It looked like it was a clear take in pitch 1 and a clear take there in pitch 2.
Chop foul, 1-2. Keep trying to watch the face of Dustin May on these close-ups to see if there's any discomfort with the back issue that he had from last week. Doesn't seem to be showing anything, but the placement hasn't been perfect for him tonight. Dubon, line drive, base hit. The Braves are on the board. It's 3-1 as Ozzie is held at third base.
What a good at-bat here for Mauricio Dubon, willing to look at a couple of pitches first, and then his ability to get the fastballs. We talk about it a lot here in 2-strike counts. It's 98, it's up, but he is short with the swing, short to the ball, and right back up the box for a very hard hit single, and hit so hard that Ozzie had to stay at third.
And another 2-strike RBI hit for Dubon. He's done that all year long. Early meeting on the mound. Pitching coach Dusty Blake out there. Got to be a tough day with that beard and hair, though.
And the sleeves.
With the humidity and the heat.
Try to pace yourself. You move a little bit slower.
Dom Smith.
And again, you've heard me say it before, but I just find it surprising that Dusty Blake doesn't bring a bottle of water out there with him. This is turning into a long inning. At that point, it's 26 pitches. It's humid. It's hot. Oh, a pitcher out.
Even that big soccer tournament has hydration breaks now, right?
Heard a lot of complaints about those, too.
Yeah. Ollie Marmol, by the way, went to that World Cup match yesterday that was here in Atlanta with the earlier start, something he always wanted to do. It's an early celebration for his 40th birthday. 1-1 here to Dom Smith. I thought Dom might challenge, but it looked like that did just clip the corner.
Yeah, and this is the one that if he finds consistency with that in that location, it'll make it very tough on left-handed hitters. We talk about it often, but it makes you aware in. You don't like getting beat in. And so you then struggle to kind of cover what is going to be outside and away from you, and that could be the 2-seam fastball and the changeup or that backdoor sweeper that we saw to Michael Harris.
Of May, and it redirects all the way out into right field. The Braves are going to circle the bases. Dubon just ran through a stop sign, but it worked. And May is in some pain. Ooh, 92 off the bat. Right back at Dustin May.
They caught him solid and took a significant bounce as you saw that ball go into not just right field, but pretty far down the right field line. And Dustin May right now wondering whether or not he's going to be able to stand up and put weight on that leg. And take a look at where it got him. It's that sweeper, same one that Michael saw, and yeah, right on the right ankle. Right there, some adrenaline there, and then you start to feel it. And it was kind of amazing at how far this ball ended up going down the right field line. Look where Mauricio Dubon is as that baseball is passing him. And it was loud, and it certainly hurt. Now Doobie was looking over his shoulders there. Now Tommy Watkins kind of in between, and then yeah, he was waving, but he went wave and then stop sign, which was probably too late at that point, and Mauricio Dubon figured just to go for it.
And that gives the Braves the lead in what has been a very eventful first inning here, but certainly some concern for Dustin May. Yeah, he's having trouble putting weight on that. And CJ, with how far, as you mentioned, that went out into the outfield, I wonder if that just hit directly on that ankle bone.
I mean, if it did, that would be significant pain. You see him right now trying to figure out. It does not look good here for Dustin May at all. Yeah, that right there, when you see him try to test and that ankle gives, I mean, he's going to try to throw a pitch, but that is not encouraging body language.
Justin Brule is starting to stretch right now. He hasn't begun to throw, but they're stretching. They also have Gordon Graceffo, number 44, getting up.
There's no way, right? I mean, based on the way that he's moving around right now, I have a hard time believing that he is going to be able to push off of that right ankle and deliver a pitch of the caliber that he needs to deliver.
This is a guy that has been through the ringer injury-wise. He just looks uncomfortable, but he had Tommy John surgery in his past. Then he had another surgery to that arm in July of 23. Came back in July of 24 and suffered a tear in his esophagus from eating a salad. It's a bizarre story, but that set him back another 8 months. So he has been through it all, and now taking that ball right around the ankle area, and he's trying to push through it, but I don't know that he's going to be able to stay in this game.
I don't think. I mean, you see the facial expression there as well. And I think this is almost one of those situations where you see Ali Marmol kind of talking to him, but almost that you have to be the guy to tell him no. Take a look at it one more time, and you could hear it. You could hear how loud that was. If I'm Ali Marmol, it's enough for me. Appreciate the effort that guys give you. He's also at 30 pitches, right? So you have the combination of a long inning. You're 5 or 6 pitches away from wanting to get him out of this game anyway. Now you've had this long delay after taking that ball off the ankle. For me, he's out of this game.
A long deliberation. Wow, they're going to leave him out there. Look, we didn't hear the discussion, but I'm with you. I'm shocked.
And listen, you do like a veteran guy, and you appreciate guys that want to stay in the game. I don't know. You got to read body language. They know him a lot better than we do, and maybe this is kind of the consistent body language that you always get from Dustin May. But there's a lot going on there right now that would make me want to get him out of this game. They got to close that gate, by the way, out in center field. That's what Alan Porter's talking about.
Yeah, they had the cart for medical attention ready to come out just in case it was needed. But now they've got to close the gate so we can resume play.
Affectionately known as the blooper gate, where he loads up after Braves wins.
Now we're ready. But for Dom Smith, it's a 3 RBI double to give the Braves a lead. So he's at second, Riley at the plate. First pitch bounced to third, and Jordan, wide throw, and almost his 3rd error of the series, but he's saved by Burleson.
It's very interesting there from Blaze Jordan that it looked like he looked back at third and then still made the throw to first. Once you look back, for me, that means this play is over for you. Let's see exactly what happened. I don't know where he's looking. Looked over at second base, and Of course, there's no way that Dom Smith is still there. He thought there was a runner at first and thinking there might have been a play at second, but unusual. And even Dustin May still seems like as he's going over to potentially field that ball, he doesn't look right. It's one more hitter for me. They got double barrels in that Cardinals bullpen.
Yastrzemski puts it in the air out to center. Church all the way back, just in front of the wall. But that will bring Dom Smith home. 5 runs in the first for the Bravos.
How about with Dustin May kind of limping around out there, you have back-to-back Braves hitters jumping on first pitches and kind of looking for mistakes to do some damage and get him out of this game. And yeah, it's just missed that one. You know, the other thing here with the 5 runs for the Braves, they've had a hard time getting to starting pitching here recently.
Now, this is a great sign, and now Jim Jarvis is first at bat as a big leaguer here at Truist, and he fouls off a 4-seam fastball. He went 1 for 5 in those 2 games that he had back in June. 1 in Seattle for his debut, and then 1 at Dodger Stadium. Riley goes, and a bouncer that gets out into right center. Welcome to Truist Park, Jim Jarvis.
That's exactly why he is in the lineup and why he got called up for his left-handed bat against Dustin May. And he finds some room up the middle. Now, I don't think Austin Riley knew where this baseball was. It took him a second to find it. 4-seam fastball hit into the ground, but 97 on the velo. And Austin able to go first to third, but I don't think he exactly knew. He had to look back and find the ball for a second.
The catcher Crooks is out there talking to May. Both of those guys that were stretching for the Cardinals have been throwing ever since. And yeah, that's going to be it. Well, I believe that's going to be it.
I mean, it's 34 pitches. You already got a pitcher coming in from the bullpen, and this might be an injury type of replacement. It's not an automatically just taking him out.
We'll be back to sort it out in a moment. Injured, and the replacement is going to be Justin Brule.
And the lefty we talked about yesterday, fastball sits at 90. It's a 2-seamer, sweeper, changeup, 4-seamer, occasional cutter, but not necessarily great numbers against the lefties, and low strikeout numbers overall. You can see that K rate at under 16%. Your league average K rate is 22%.
So Baldwin, who started this inning with a single to center, now bats with runners at the corners. Well, we do hope the best for Dustin May and that that's nothing serious, but it did not look great. Jarvis takes off, and this one is hit foul. Jarvis, by the way, is a great base stealer, so you always have to keep your eye on him.
And a great defender. Remember that play he made out in Los Angeles when he went full Superman on that diving play in the outfield. We know he's got a great glove.
Hard hit. Backhanded, though, by Weatherholt. That'll do it. But the Braves send 10 to the plate, and they score 5 to take the lead.
Well, they say on any given night at the ballpark, you can see something you've never seen before. Well, we saw that last night, guys. Michael Harris had a ball, frequently tossing baseballs into the section of English soccer fans, and obviously had some time after the game, but he didn't make it back to his locker until about half an hour after the end of the game. He spent so much time out there, guys, but pretty cool, and even had a little bit of a, I guess you can't call it a jersey swap. Michael didn't give his jersey out, but they gave him a few soccer jerseys.
Nice. Yeah, that would have been a nice get for those guys. What a great night it was yesterday. A few holdovers here tonight, and some nice memories there for Michael.
Here's Jarvis. That makes a clean throw across. So he got the hit in the bottom of the first. Good play here to start the second for the rookie Jarvis.
And a good job by Hurston Waldrop to come out and fire a couple of strikes here early on. Again, the command had been a little bit of an issue as he's making his way back from that elbow surgery in the loose body. And after you have an inning like that, it was a long one, you want to see him coming out and filling up the strike zone.
You'll certainly take the 5 runs, but it was 30 minutes in between pitches for Hurston Waldrop.
So it had been just once in the last 18 games for the Braves where they scored 3 or more runs against the starting pitcher. One time. That had been it. And to put it in perspective, the first 65 games of the year, they did it 35 times. They were pounding starting pitching. It had been an issue lately. And again, you don't like the circumstances there at all for Dustin May, but that was a much needed inning and damage done against the starting pitcher for the Braves.
Just flipping that calendar to July. That's quite the hair for Dustin May. You know, I was thinking that they would take him underneath for evaluation, and maybe they will. We don't know what's going on, but right now he's just sitting over there on the bench.
I'm mesmerized by that.
It's a lot. They put a lot of money into him. I mean, 1 year, but $12.5 million. That accounted for over half the money they spent this offseason.
It seemed like a surprise to me at the time. I'm like, why would they add that kind of money after all the subtraction? Remember, their payroll was down, even with him, $45 million. But it ended up actually being a really smart play because they're contenders.
Waldrop gets his first strikeout. Jimmy Crooks is the victim.
And he gets it on the curveball, and this is a good right on left curveball where it's down and it's in and it's way out of the strike zone.
So back to the top of the order, and J.J. Weatherholt. Olsen has it. Waldrop covers. That is a bounce back shutdown inning for Hurston Waldrop. Ozzie leading off. Our Yellowwood bringing the lumber feature. Talking about Mr. Ozzie Albies, who walked and scored in the first, and over the previous 10 games, 11 RBI.
And now back to his really good side, right? Of course, he has been great. We saw what happened yesterday, but we also know that Ozzie has been crushing it against lefties and hitting right-handed. Do all that preparation and thinking about, I mean, the fact that Jarvis is here has everything to do with Dustin May making this start tonight, and we're in the second inning and he's out of the game. Did Ozzie call that?
I think he did. He was helping Alan Porter out a little bit.
I believe it's something like 4 out of the next 5 starters probables are going to be right-handed, and so we may see Jarvis even a little bit more. I think only Sean Manaea in this upcoming Mets series is the only lefty.
Ozzie grounds out, 1 away. Good night for that, but again, you've got to get after it quickly.
Can't beat a good king cone.
I mean, that kid eating that is summer right there.
Yeah.
At a baseball game, living his best life.
A big can of beer that Dad had wasn't too bad either.
Yes, that's the adult summer. And wearing it all over his face, that's the best part. Did you know that Wiley was in an eating contest before?
I did hear about it. I didn't want to really bring it up because it was, quite honestly, a very disappointing appearance for him.
He's got the meat sweats going down there.
Sure, that's meat.
It's a tough night when you got to down some Crystal Burgers in 100 degrees and 100% humidity.
And it looked like he was going up against some pros, some guys that came in with a game plan, prepared properly. They didn't just show up ready to eat Crystal Burgers.
We're going to show you the footage in between batters. I say that so that you can hide your children.
That's right. It's fair warning.
Three balls and 2 strikes here to Olsen. Lefty lefty payoff pitch. Routine fly. Second out. All right, here it was before the game. Wiley and his friends. Who could eat the most burgers in 5 minutes? It was not Wiley. It was that kid on Wiley's left.
But of all those people he lost to, was that kid who looks like he's about to pass out, but clearly a man on a mission. Oh, he cleaned his plate. He got all 12 done, and Wiley still has, what, at least 6 or 7 sitting there.
I think with age, you realize the actual win is not winning.
Good point.
I think.
Could we get your tally, though, by the way?
It was 4, right, Wiley?
Yeah, I think 4. Look, again, I would argue I did win.
Yeah. I see where you're going, but you're wrong.
Yeah, how's that kid doing right now?
Yeah, can we have a Snoop cam on the winner? Is he in the fetal position in one of the lavatories here at Truist?
I was told he actually was the play ball kid today, or he got to say play ball at the start of the game. That was one of his.
And
I think that was his prize for winning. Yeah,
really?
I think he got it out. Yeah.
He didn't leave anything on the field.
We got a great grounds crew here at Truist Park, CJ.
It's one of those things that when you do that and it's not something you do regularly, probably not going to have that food for a little while.
Yeah.
It's going to get put on the back shelf.
New bar backing up. So a clean second inning after a busy first inning. There's nothing clean about this. Wiley with a last place finish.
Got a Buc-ee's tattoo on his arm.
Batters and 8 runs. The second inning there were 6 batters and no base runners. What will the third inning bring? Waldrop facing 2, 3, 4. Just 9 pitches in that 1, 2, 3 second inning for Waldrop.
And kind of wondering what the reality is for him pitch count wise, right? And thinking about he had been in the minor leagues. He was starting. It was a 2-inning relief appearance that he had here with the Braves. But he got up to 71 pitches in his last rehab or his last start in the minor leagues.
Strikeout there on the curveball, getting Herrera.
It was 55 pitches to get to the 2 innings, which was a lot for him, but looking pretty good right now. And the breaking ball looking really sharp. The other strikeout that he had in the second inning also came on a curveball. I feel like 75 is probably a fair number for him tonight. Again, it's all about how you get there. So maybe it'll be 4. 5 would be, I think, a gift.
Larry Bird right now 33. You know, this is a little bit similar, CJ, to Lopez's night last night. Shaky in the first inning, was a little concerning, some good swings against him, and then he just mowed through the second, third, fourth, and fifth.
That'll work if he's got that up his sleeve tonight. I think most important, that command was a little sideways right early on that first inning, and it had been in the minor leagues and the one outing we saw in the big leagues. Getting him back on track, and what we got from Lopez yesterday, that would be a really nice boost.
This is the Hurston Waldrop we came to know last year.
3 of the last 4 have gone down on strikes. They've all swung and missed at the Hurston Waldrop curveball.
Now the guy that got the big 3-run homer off of him back in the first, Jordan Walker. to Riley. And Walker is 1 for 2 and 6 in a row now retired for Waldrop. Back at Truist Park as the sun starts to set here on a steamy night, and we take a look at Mauricio Dubon's 10-game on-base streak. It is our Toyota Trends feature tonight.
Trending in the right direction for sure. Nice looking OPS there at 950. Almost had a home run robbery streak going as well after he had one yesterday and nearly had one again today.
Hits in 9 of those 10 games for Mauricio Dubon, including an RBI single in the first.
We're doing all that talking about food. Chef Jocko brought us up some Taiwanese chicken sandwiches, which are available in the outfield market. Now, we're not going to show them to you because they're gone.
They're gone.
Yeah, there's a little bit left on my shirt, but for the most part, there is no other evidence that those chicken sandwiches were here. But that's at the Giving Kitchen booth that they have at the outfield market, which is a charitable endeavor that they have here. Giving Kitchen supports local restaurants and restaurant workers, food service workers, so it'll be out there in the outfield. But I was reading up on this sandwich. It comes from Lucky Star, is the name of the restaurant. House-made milk bun, beef chili aioli was in there. That's what that aioli was.
That's what you got all over yourself.
Yeah, a little bit. And apparently, I think this restaurant, Lucky Star, has been recommended for a Michelin star. We don't mess around here.
Wow.
We're going big, so check that out if you're here. The Taiwanese chicken sandwich.
Yeah, the bun was, you could tell the bun was legit.
House-made milk bun.
Now, it's no sourdough from CJ that was brought up here again today, but everybody's playing for second.
I had my first order I had to fill. Came from our boss, Jeff Cravens. Actually put in an order, asked me if I could make him some bread for his 4th of July weekend. And I took a risk by making a bread I'd never made before, which was a rosemary parmesan.
Wow. Now, is this an all-cash business, or are you taking plastic at this point?
I can do Venmo.
Okay.
But came out pretty good. I made myself one. Of course, I had to make myself one.
Yep.
But I had a little Asiago, threw in a couple of bagels for good luck for the weekend, and just trying to score points with the boss. You know how it is.
So what's the plan for the holiday weekend then? I mean, I know
off.
we're off.
We're off. I'm going to sit in air conditioning and do nothing.
Don Smith's going to try to beat this out, but he will not. 2 away.
It's rare for us, right, to have a Saturday and a Sunday off the way that we will. Those games will be national games. What is it, Fox and Peacock, I believe?
Yes. Bit of a bummer because there's something about baseball on July 4th, so American, such a joy to be a part of. But yeah, you and I will be on the couch, maybe eating some of that.
The other thing, that table Walt said about pizza the other day, we had him on. Ryan Spielborg's asked him how does he cope when things aren't going well with the team. He had known, I guess, Walt was like Pops. It was Ice Pops or something. He said, no, it's pizza. It's pizza every time. And he said when he was in San Francisco, the club, he would bring him a full pie every day. He's like, I didn't eat the whole thing. I shared it, but he's like, I am a man who still loves pizza. Him and Didier Fuentes.
And for Walt, the New York roots. He likes that New York style.
That looks really good.
Oh, it does.
And you know what looks good too, at least with my current state, I'm stuffed. We had some cake here today. It was a bread day for me as well. Then the chicken sandwich. Like, I couldn't eat another thing, and yet that pizza looks appetizing.
Well, look, when it's this hot, you're sweating that much, you're losing weight, you got to carb load a little bit.
How that works?
So that's what you're doing. I think that's what the doctors recommend.
You putting down the big bowl of spaghetti the night before a basketball game in grade school?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Two down, 2-2 coming here to Riley. Cards got 3 in the top of the first. Braves responded with 5 in the bottom half. But since then, we don't have a base runner. 12 up and 12 down in the second and the third.
Come on.
That was the surprise waiting on Ollie Marmol there in the visitors clubhouse for his 40th birthday today, actually arranged by Chip Carey.
Oh, wow.
He made sure that that band was there ready to serenade him with happy birthday. How about that?
Well done. That's a really good idea. Some of the players should be ashamed. They should be coming up with those great ideas for their manager on his birthday.
But Chip's the best. We talked about him the other day, and I just have always appreciated his kindness to me throughout the 4 years that I've had this job, but also he's just known as a fun guy, brings the life to the party, and I don't know that Ollie Marmol appreciated it in the moment, but I think there's a part of him that did enjoy that.
Oh, that's a great idea. How can you not enjoy that?
And he was the youngest manager in baseball until the Nationals hired Blake Butera. So now he's the second youngest manager.
Butera's what, 33?
33, yeah. Yeah.
Might hold that title for a while.
I like how Ollie just kind of stands there and wears it.
Yeah. I mean, at least getting a little head bob in there, something. Come on, that is fantastic.
That's awesome. Yeah, he went. And that is now 4 strikeouts here for Hurston Waldrop. He's starting to stack them up, Siege.
And this one is on the split, and it had a little bit of cut to it as well here at 84 miles an hour. Good look at the grip. It is such a low spinning pitch, less than 1,000 RPMs for Hurston Waldrop, and just kind of a funky look there. And Nootbaar didn't have a chance to stop his swing.
So that is 8 in a row set down for Waldrop. Mason Wynn is the last guy to reach. He singled in the first. High bouncer. This is going to be tough for Jarvis. Ooh, bang bang play. See if the Braves want to take a peek at it. Tell you what, Jarvis did about everything he could.
Yeah, I think Mason Wynn beat this out. He's got that great speed down the line, and this was a long throw for Jarvis that he had to make. He gets the backhand, gets it out quickly, right? There's no tap, there's no pat. If it gets there in the air, maybe. But that's asking a lot from that distance.
So Mason Wynn is 2 for 2. You heard Matthew Kaminsky playing a church organ as Nathan Church came to the plate here.
That's what that was. I did hear some Winter Wonderland. I don't know if Matthew was just trying to get people to think cold.
It is the opposite of Winter Wonderland here on this July night. Riley charging. Looks at second, throws to first. Quick message from Zaxby's.
Zaxby's just dropped a whole new line of dry rubs, and they're not playing around. Who's got the sauce?
Zaxby's.
Now Blaze Jordan. He's about to see Waldrop's 50th pitch of the night. And he sends that 50th pitch to Jarvis, and that sends us to the bottom of the 4th. Bottom of the 4th, Kia Field report. Here's Wiley Ballard.
Well, Brandon, we've seen a lot of Braves make their home debuts, and when they step in the dugout, they're smiling from ear to ear. Jim Jarvis was no exception. Although the reason for his smile might have been a little bit unexpected, and he was sitting right underneath the ceiling of the dugout. He looked up and felt air conditioning, and he was blown away that there is AC in the dugout. He's been playing in AAA the last couple of weeks. It's been very hot. You should have seen how excited he was.
Well, he's coming to the plate right now, and he's going to do so with Yastrzemski at first. What a well-executed bunt there from Mike Yastrzemski.
That was perfect. I don't know what Brule's thinking. He had absolutely no chance at throwing out Yaz here. If anything, he could have made this a lot worse. Once you see that bounce there and you're picking it up and moving away from the bag like that, you really should just go ahead and hold on to that baseball. But this is perfectly done from Mike Yastrzemski. Smart play.
And now Jarvis. He talked about the heat. He's from San Diego, so he was born in the cold weather. Or I should say, very nice weather.
Yeah.
But he played college ball at Alabama, so he's familiar with this.
Surprised that the bunt would not be in play here again for the Braves. You're at your left-on-left matchup now.
Grounder, sharp grounder foul. Yeah, letting him swing away.
Is that footage officially disseminated? I don't think so.
0-2.
Do you give her express written consent to do that?
I'll have to go check. Single back in the first. So now 2 for 6 in his very young big league career. And he fights another pitch off. Yastrzemski goes, and that's going to work well. So instead of getting Yastrzemski at second there, they only get Jarvis at first.
That's part of the reason why you do it, right? You have a left-hander who's got a pretty good ground ball rate, a lot of two-seam fastballs. You're trying to stay out of a double play, and the Braves are able to do that.
He's got that hair like he's from San Diego, too, Jarvis.
That's good hair. He's got Dustin May beat in that department. And maybe everybody else on the field tonight.
Back to the top with Drake Baldwin. Both of Drake's at bats came in the first inning. He led it off with a single. He finished it with a ground out to second base. Three and 0.
You know they're pushing here a little bit, obviously, with Dustin May only getting through the 1 inning. Now for Brule, the season high for him is 43 pitches. He's gone as many as 2 2/3 in an outing. He's creeping up on that, though, pretty quickly here in the fourth.
They've got Ryan Fernandez, right-hander, throwing. He's just waiting for the call. Is he going to challenge? Would have been ball 4.
Wasn't even that close. I do wonder when you go in with the information that's available with Alan Porter behind the plate tonight. Batters have only had a 32% success rate in having calls that have been turned over. Catchers 75%, right? So it seems that it's been more balls that haven't been called strikes has been his tendency this year.
Yeah, definitely a ball. In fact, I think it did clip Drake Baldwin, but he appears to be okay. That's going to be it for Brule. 40 pitches, but running into some trouble here in the fourth, and Fernandez will be the next man up for the St. Louis Cardinals. Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by Georgia Natural Gas. Simple savings right here. Visit GNG.com. By your local Ford dealers. And also by Comcast Business. All-in connection and protection your small business can rely on. No one does business like Comcast Business. Still some of the English football fans that are here with us and having a great time tonight at Truist Park. And the Braves on top 5-3, looking for more. Ryan Fernandez takes over now for the Cardinals.
And if you remember, we saw him in game 1 of this series, his first game since coming off the IL, and he had a terrible time trying to throw strikes. He had bounced quite a few pitches in the dirt. His overall strike rate was under 50%. Let's see if he's gotten it figured out now.
In front of the plate with that slider. When Fernandez pitched the other day, we told you he was just activated from the 15-day IL. He had been dealing with a low back issue. And he misses with his first 2 here to Ozzie.
Got no problem finding a vein for Jim Wolf when he gives blood, huh?
No, nurses really like when he shows up. Very vasculature. Yep.
Nice word.
Liner, but directly at Weatherholt. So now 2 down.
It's going to be one of those nights for most of these Braves hitters where, in the case of Ozzie Albies, it's been 3 plate appearances, 3 different pitchers. He went from the left side to the right side back to the left side, and it's only the 4th inning.
Now Matty. High into the air. Who's going to take it? Weatherholt out, Walker in, and it will be Walker with a catch.
Welcome back to Braves baseball here on Braves Vision. We go to the top of the 5th inning, and the Braves leading it by a score of 5-3. Now it's time for our mobile performance, and what a performance it has been here so far for Hurston Waldrop. That first inning, a little bit shaky. 3 hits, 3 earned runs. The Braves bounced back with 5 of their own, and then since then, Hurston Waldrop has thrown the ball extremely well. 4 innings, just the 1 hit, and 4 punch-outs. Check that, 3 innings.
And that 1 hit was just an infield single by Mason Wynn last inning.
It looks good. Breaking ball looks really good. Split, nice adjustments from the first inning with his command as he throws one 3 feet outside. It's all right.
Facing Jimmy Crooks, who he struck out back in the 2nd. Oh, like he fell off the mound awkwardly there.
A little bit of that kind of pivot you see as he went to the outside part of his leg or his foot there and rolled over.
Giving himself a little pep talk, as he'll sometimes do. There's a strike.
He's got a pretty sweet camouflage belt on tonight as well, does Hurston Waldrop. Guys are getting pretty creative.
So Jimmy Crooks with a single to start the 5th.
Fell behind the count, ended up throwing a fastball down the middle. You certainly don't want to walk the 9-hole hitter. And that's a nice catch by Jimmy Crooks with his helmet and get it back on. Wow.
And he reaches, and now it's the top of the order and Weatherholt.
So the pitch count is in good shape, but keep in mind also for Hurston Waldrop, as we told you during rehab and when he was in the minor leagues, he had not completed 5 innings. So being up 5 times, right, this is the most that he has been up and what he did that last start that he had in AAA. And we don't have a spring training and you're kind of building your way back. This is also kind of one of those thresholds that you have to cross, the amount of ups that you have in a game situation and in the middle of a really hot homestand.
Well, falling behind here 3-0 to Weatherholt.
And back-to-back hitters now where it's been 3-0 counts for Waldrop. Like we said, we hoped 5. 5 would kind of be ideal, but I think if Weatherholt gets on, we may see some action in that Braves bullpen.
Challenge, and I think this is going to be a strike.
Catcher is challenging the ball call.
Yep, I would agree. I told you the catchers have had the most success with Alan Porter.
Ball's overturned. Atlanta has 2 remaining.
Well, it's going to depend on what happens next, but that could end up being a really big pitch.
Yeah, agreed. Leverage spots that we talk about, that was one.
So Drake not challenging when he was the hitter, but as the catcher, he felt confident about that one. 3-2. Michael Harris twisting around, finding the baseball. An important sequence and a big challenge there from Drake Baldwin.
Yeah, I think it prevents the bullpen, again, only my thoughts, but of getting up right now. And if that kind of gets him back on the right track and he finds a way to finish this inning, it's a big deal. Now, Karinchak is up. I remember, we know he likes to do those dry drills without a baseball. He doesn't have his glove, so nothing official.
He's working the rosin bag right now. Yeah, he just moved off the mound altogether, so quiet in the Braves bullpen for the moment.
I wonder if there's something about Herrera in particular. Remember the curveball in the first inning? And he had a split that he ultimately hit him with. And let's see as he plants that foot. He seems like he gets rid of the baseball before he kind of turns that ankle. I don't know if it affected necessarily the pitch, but he did roll over again.
And there seems to be a little frustration maybe with landing in the mound right now for Waldrop.
It can also get in your head a little bit. It could also be that if you are landing on the outside of your foot just a little bit too much and you're putting that kind of pressure on more than you usually would, that's why you'll also see the roll. Could be the mound, could be the mechanics.
It's kind of what we saw in the first inning. Some of those pitches that just aren't landing.
But if that's getting in his head where his front foot is, it also could be causing him, you've heard me talk about landing light, right, and not doing it with aggressiveness and getting out over your front knee the way you need to on those pitches.
Jarvis charges on to second, on to first. 6, 4, 3, double play to end the top of the 5th.
I tell you what, it didn't feel like it. And Jim Jarvis did an unbelievable job of turning this into a double play. Good throw by Ozzie as well to get Hurston Waldrop and the Braves out of that little jam.
Jim Jarvis was performing very well in Gwinnett. He's having a nice game here, starting that double play to send us to the bottom of the 5th.
It did not feel like a double play off the bat. I did not think they were going to be able to turn it. Good job by Jarvis.
Georgia Natural Gas Green Life Impact player Michael Harris. So his last 6 games against the Cardinals, obviously that goes back to last year, but he has had some good success against St. Louis.
And a good time to continue that, right? Because this season series is going to happen very quickly. We finish it up today, and then this next road trip will be in St. Louis and done with them for the year.
Good swing, but Walker hardly had to move. It's just like last year. The Braves finished with the Cardinals leading into the All-Star break, and that's what's happening this year. July 10th, 11th, and 12th at Busch Stadium before the Midsummer Classic.
That was Sacramento, St. Louis, I believe, that road trip. This time it's Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and it's heading into the All-Star game with a whimper. Not the team. Just the excitement level. You know, the Cardinals are struggling again with their attendance, and we talked about it last year. They are down more than 1 million fans over 2 years. I mean, that is significant. I thought maybe their attendance would be up a little bit this year because they've been playing much better baseball. They are a contender this year, but it still is down about 1,700 fans per game.
You know, I grew up just a little over 2 hours from St. Louis, around mostly Cardinals fans. I was rooting for the Braves watching on TBS, but we would go over there, and it was a tough ticket.
Yeah.
I mean, they throughout the 90s and the 2000s, of course, they had some good teams mixed in there, but I mean, it's like a religion there in St. Louis, or at least it used to be.
I mean, it's 2023 was 3.2 million fans.
Dubon is going to get it past Weatherholt barely, but it works. And Mauricio is now 2 for 3.
Probably a little bit concerned when he hit this because Weatherholt is such a good defender, and he took a good shot at this. Fortunately, he could not get it as he went full extension. Another base hit for Mauricio Dubon.
So Dom Smith with 1 on and 1 out. Yeah, I'll be very curious, though, to see how things work out for the Cardinals here, say, over the next 5 years. With the fan base, with the team. Again, they're trying to go younger. They got rid of some of those players this past offseason. We talked about that a couple of days ago. Nice play by Burleson. And they're going to get 2 out of it, so we'll have to put a pin on that conversation as we head to the 6th. Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Truist. Hurston Waldrop, 24-year-old, the 24th overall pick by the Braves a few years ago, and he's through 5 innings, and he's going to go back out there for a 6th.
Yeah, I love seeing it here from Walt and giving the confidence to Hurston Waldrop. You mentioned it at the time, the challenge from Drake Baldwin, and what a difference it ended up making for that 5th inning. He ended up getting Weatherholt out, and then the ground ball double play to get out of the inning.
So now can he get through 6? He's got 3, 4, 5 in the order, starting with Alec Burleson.
Looks like Tyler Kinley beginning to take some tosses now down in the Braves bullpen.
Sharp grounder directly to Ozzie Albies.
Give an idea just of how a baseball season can go, and there's still a long way to go with this being game number 85. But I mean, even 3 or 4 days ago, and some real concerns about the starting rotation after, of course, Spencer Strider went down. Bryce Elder's having a little bit of a rough go of it right now, and then Ronaldo Lopez steps up in a really big way. You have Hurston Waldrop through 5 1/3 and pitching with a lead, and that's just the feeling and how quickly that changes in the optimism.
He lost control of that curveball again. coming up around the helmet shoulder area of Jordan Walker.
Clearly no intent when you see a breaking ball like this, but that's kind of a bad miss from Hurston Waldrop when he's trying to go down and away.
Also, A.J. Smith-Shawver starting his rehab assignment this week.
We just ride that emotional roller coaster all season long. It's not just the fans, we're all on the ride.
Been interesting. Look, overall, this is a really good sign for the outing that Waldrop has had, but the command now and seemingly maybe issues with the mound are coming back into play here.
Good run on that two-seam fastball. You have the 2-run lead. You'd love to see him go right at Walker. I think if he ends up getting on base, it's probably his last hitter. If he can get him out, he may get another one to face.
Gets it to 3-2. Walker with his team best 19th homer of the season back in the first inning. Payoff pitch. And he walked him. 76 pitches, 1 on 1 out. Walt starting to go toward the steps. And here he comes. But still a lot of encouraging signs tonight for Hurston Waldrop. He gets through 5 1/3. Tonight is our Car Shield defensive play of the game.
Yeah, he did a really nice job. Again, that first inning, a little bit of a rough one. 4 batters in. There was a base hit, a hit by pitch, and a 3-run home run. And then after that, he settled in really nicely. Walt pushed a little bit, trying to get that 6th inning out of him, and that would have been great. But he's able to record that 1 out to start the 6th inning. So he gets through 5 1/3. He is responsible for the runner over at third base, and it's going to go to Tyler Kinley, who comes out of the Braves bullpen for game number 34. On the year. Of course, we know with Kinley, it's the slider, the go-to pitch. Curveball has been really good for him as well.
Facing Lars Newbar. And first pitch, Ozzie on to second for 1. Double play with a good strike from Jarvis to Olsen. So a double play to end the top of the 5th and another one to end the top of the 6th.
What made this play so great was this flip from Ozzie. It led Jarvis right through the middle of the bag so he could deliver that throw over to first base, and Hurston Waldrop loving every minute of
it. Good defense tonight for the Atlanta Braves. A couple of big double plays here in the 5th and the 6th. All right, I'm reading this, so bear with me because I haven't read it before. Bury me in Braves country. Braves fans, get ready for the Kane Brown bobblehead giveaway September 9th. Bobblehead honors country music superstar Kane Brown and his unforgettable performance of Georgia on My Mind during the All-Star game last year here in Atlanta. Braves.com/promos to get your tickets. Did you do that one last night?
I did, yeah.
Okay, I was going to say I hadn't seen that one, but
it sounded more professional when you did.
No. It sounded just more like Ron Burgundy is what it sounded like. But that's a cool bobblehead giveaway. That's going to be a fun one.
There's quite the line tonight coming in when I got here for the hats that they were giving away today.
Those are cool. Out to right center off the bat of Riley. On the run. Church is there.
This is how it goes when you're having a little bit of a rough go, but you get a hold of one the way that Austin Riley just did. And there's a great play in center field by Church. You see him calling for it, just track this thing really well. But a good sign to see how hard Austin Riley hit that ball to the opposite gap. Especially against the heater. Doing a little digging today on Austin Riley, and that had been part of the problem. That one in 95 miles an hour. He'd been popping up a lot of fastballs 95 and higher. Launch angle was up significantly by about 7 degrees. There was more swing and miss in there. So the adjustments on the fastball, it's a good sign of one on that last at bat.
Saw Graceffo yesterday back out for his 35th appearance of the season. I was talking with Grant McCauley before the game about that same thing, CJ, regarding Austin Riley. Two things that we were discussing. One, more balls high into the air, and then the other is the chase on the breaking stuff away that seemed to be a lot more than the last few seasons.
The chase, I think, always speaks to probably pressing a little bit. As far as the fastballs, especially the higher velocity fastballs, more often than not, that is something mechanical. And whatever adjustment that he has been working on, we know, of course, he was having that conversation with Chipper yesterday and just trying to be a little bit quicker to get to those baseballs. And when you are popping them up, yes, the whiff rate is up, but the launch angle, fly ball rate is up. Tells me that it's the angle in which you're getting to those baseballs as well that maybe is not where it used to be.
Well, Jim Jarvis has acquitted himself nicely here tonight. Got a hit, put a ball in play to advance a runner in the fourth, and solid defense.
So something that is probably not worth speculating about, certainly not at this point in the year, but I've done it before and sometimes can't help but think about it. But who the opening day shortstop for the Braves is going to be next year to me is very fascinating. I know we'll talk about it all off season long, but the three other guys that have played short are all free agents. And there's been some guys that have done a good job in Mauricio Dubon and what we've seen from Mateo. Jarvis is the only guy that obviously is a young player, is under control. There's a lot of shortstops in the system right now. And it was a big question this offseason, and very likely outside of us seeing an extension that happens with anybody that is currently here, it's probably going to be a big question this next offseason. But Jarvis, maybe he gets a run to prove himself. It'd be great.
Buries this in the ground. Ooh, that almost bounced over Weatherholt's head, but instead of 1, 2, 3, 6. So Tyler Kinley throws one pitch there in the sixth, gets a double play, back out for the seventh. That leads us to our Zaxby's Who's Got the Sauce. Braves pen last night was perfect through 4 innings.
It's been the best consistent of this team, and this team has been really good. But the bullpen, even at times when guys have had to miss some time, have been incredibly consistent. They've run very deep. Other guys that have also come in and taken on some innings that have been in and out have done a really nice job. But the role of Didier Fuentes, Karinchak, since he's been up. Tyler Kinley thought he was going to get out of here just throwing one pitch tonight, but you're going to do a little bit more work than that.
Mason Wynn is 2 for 2. He has 2 of the 5 hits for St. Louis.
No Robert Suarez right now with him on the IL, yet you still feel really good about where the bullpen is. You don't vote on the relievers, but there should be at least 2 Braves relievers in Philadelphia for the All-Star game.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Lee and Raisel Iglesias. Yeah. It'd be hard to leave them off that roster.
And had Suarez not gotten hurt and missed some time, you have a good case for all 3 of them. He's got the lowest ERA of the group.
This one off the end of the bat. And no one's going to get there. Jarvis was sprinting, but also checking in on where Dubon was. But I think that one was going to fall regardless. They're talking about it.
Yeah, Dubon wasn't going to be able to get there. If he could have, he would have. The question becomes whether or not with Jarvis, as far as he was going, did he get a little bit concerned because he had gone a long way. When you're running that long, there's almost an assumption like, well, certainly there's got to be an outfielder here by now. I'm not saying he could have caught it, but there's that part of him that believes maybe if he had kept going the whole way and laid out that he might have been able to.
This is poked deep to right center. And it just gets out of here off the bat of Church. His second homer of the series. And this one ties the game at 5. He came into the series with only 5 homers on the season, but he's showcasing a bit of power here in Atlanta.
And he's able to get to the Tyler Kinley slider here, and it's down, but maybe not quite down far enough and where he wanted to go. This first pitch of the at bat, you're thinking inside the strike zone. We saw this with Tyler Kinley when he ran into a little bit of trouble. At 6 home runs that he has allowed now, all of them to left-handed hitters.
So the first runs for the Cardinals, the first runs for anybody since that first inning.
And the oddity about the 6 home runs for Tyler Kinley against left-handed hitters is that he came in with lefties only hitting 197 against him. It's not like lefties have been a problem. They've just run into some balls where they've been able to hit him out of the ballpark.
That one almost stayed in, but Church hit it on top of the brick wall and out it went. Now 3-2 here to Blaze Jordan. Slider misses. Dylan Lee is getting ready pretty quickly in the bullpen.
That body language right there tells you that he is ready. Walt kind of looking at where he is at in the lineup. You have Crooks and another lefty right behind him in Weatherholt.
And Walt was just waiting. Okay. Buying more time, and now he's going to walk out there and make the change.
I think this very likely will mean a pinch hitter. I thought maybe he was going to hold back to let Crooks hit. There's a good chance maybe we see now Velasquez come out and pinch hit.
Take on the Pirates. It's Kids Club Day. Day includes a special meet and greet with characters from Daniel Tiger's neighborhood. So bring out the kids. Braves.com/Kids Club to find all of the details. A lot of kids here tonight. Hoping the Braves can pull this one out. All tied at 5. Now Dylan Lee's going to come in here, and CJ, as you speculated, pinch hitter is going to be Jose Fermin to face Lee.
Okay, so Fermin and not Velasquez with the good power that he has, and see those overall numbers as we were talking about with Dylan Lee. Sub-1 ERA for him. He has taken on 14 inherited runners. Only 2 of them score. He's got one now over at first base.
Starting with a changeup, 0-1.
And that's the conversation you have with yourself if you're trying to manage along with Walt Weiss, right? We mentioned Tyler Kinley and the lefties and the home run success that they have had. Would you want him to face the lefty or Dylan Lee facing the righty, very likely knowing they were going to pinch hit? And I think this one probably does make sense. As Dylan Lee is split neutral. You're not worried about him facing lefties or righties.
Fermin parts of 4 seasons at the big league level, all with St. Louis. He's already played a career high 48 games this year. Brought in here in the 7th in a tie ball game. He's late there, 0-2.
And he has been in this spot a lot this year. This is the 21st time he has got a pinch hit plate appearance this season. Pitchers don't hit anymore. You don't usually see those kind of numbers.
0-2, high into the sky. No play for Baldwin. What do you think of Fermin's decorative eye black?
We'll see more and more of that around the league as well, right? Jose Caballero's got some of the best. He gets after it. He's got stripes going everywhere. I've seen him do the double stripes kind of like that. I mean, this is, we're starting to touch into Ultimate Warrior territory a little bit. Might as well go all the way. Why not go all the way Warrior, right?
You see some guys kind of smear it.
Yeah.
But you just want it all over.
Let's go. I mean,
like you're going into battle.
The eyes, or maybe Gene Simmons kiss.
0-2 changeup. And Fermin finds a way to reach with a single. There's still nobody out here in the 7th.
That's one here for Dylan Lee that he wants either a little bit further off the plate or further down. That is about belt high and catching the strike zone.
Now we're going to get a pinch runner out there at second base. It'll be Torres. And the batter is J.J. Weatherholt. Shows bunt. Slider low and away. Tries to lay it down, but he sends it foul down the steps into the dugout. 1-1. Hey, the stretch is coming up. Brought to you by Georgia Natural Gas. And Nick and Pete will have the stretch from the Battery tonight. One-two. And Weatherholt, look, he hasn't been up long. He's a rookie, but he does not have a sac bunt in his brief big league career, and he can't get it done there.
And it's a smart play to elevate the fastball because Dylan Lee's got good ride on his heater. Elevated fastball that has life at the top is the toughest pitch to bunt.
Over to Wiley's well.
But no Wiley. Maybe he's trying to help the Tarps Off group get it going up there in left field.
Or the pregame burger smashing session got to his stomach.
It's his last eating competition of his career.
Another 1-2 here. Strikeout obviously would be big. Well, popular over there in that well. Yeah, Wiley's got those. 99 of them, but baseball's not one.
I think that guy went with number 99.
I don't know. It'd be fitting. It is 99, right. Andrew Greathouse says. Deep to right toward the pole, but it's going to go right of the pole and thankfully be fouled.
Slider that stayed arm side there for Dylan Lee. He's trying to get this ball down and away for a swing and miss. He catches a break there, right? It was an 0-2 base hit, 1-2 slider that didn't go where he wanted it to go, and now he needs to execute to get this first out, and maybe two.
Slaps it out into right center. It falls, and the Cardinals have regained the lead.
Same thing here, I think, for Dylan Lee. He wants this ball a little bit further away. He wants it further down. You see Drake Baldwin coming back with the glove to the middle of the plate to give Weatherholt just enough time to get some bat on this baseball for a soft base hit.
So he tried to bunt twice. Couldn't get it down. Some foul balls. 7th pitch of the at bat. He does that, and it's 6-5. And now the runners are at the corners. Still no outs. Infield in for Atlanta. before this inning, but the Braves bullpen has been good all year long, but before this inning, the bullpen had only given up 1 hit to the last 34 batters that they had faced going back to Sunday. But different story so far here. Baldwin blocks it. Two from Lee. Slider fouled back by Ivan Herrera.
So even that one there, right? That one is staying kind of upper third of the zone, staying a little bit arm side, where we see Dylan Lee usually with this slider able to bury it down in the zone. Again, where Drake's glove is, where that ball ends up. You're going to have these nights sometimes where you're just not hitting your spots, but that means it's a night where you battle.
Baldwin having to work. Ian Hamilton in the Braves bullpen. First 5 have reached. 4 of them had 2 strikes when they reached. And this at bat has now gone full 3-2. And Herrera's going to reach. So that trend continues. Another run is going to come home. That's 4 in the inning. And a 7-5 lead for St. Louis.
And that's going to prompt a visit from Jeremy Hefner as the Braves are just looking for an out here in the 7th inning. Fastball down the middle in that 3-2 count. 93 miles an hour here from Dylan Lee.
So 4 2-strike hits here in this inning. And now it's about damage control. Dylan Lee has seemingly been untouchable this year. This is because it's been such a good season, just a little strange to see. Now he'll try to get Burleson. Ozzie looking down the runner, throwing home, and they've got him in a rundown here.
Just run at him. Don't give it up. There you go. Good job.
That's what he'll do. Well, you're not going to get. Yeah, you're not going to get both, but 1 out, runners at 2nd and 3rd.
That's what Jake Baldwin was kind of hoping for. He gets somebody to jump off the bag, but in that situation he handled it perfectly. Now, first of all, it's the right base running play as well, right? You're trying to stand up a double play, because if he doesn't take off at 3rd, the Braves actually had a chance to turn a double play there. And so the throw comes home. Now you have 2 base runners over at 3rd. You don't make a throw, you run them all the way back, and because they're both touching the bag, it's just a matter of who you tag first as far as who gets to stay.
So that's going to be it for Lee. An eventful top of the 7th here, as Walt Weiss will turn to Ian Hamilton.
By the Delta Sky 360 Club, where you can get all sorts of food as well as drinks at the Gold Glove Bar. And we've also got some pretty good seats behind home plate as well. So go to braves.com/premium to get on the wait list. Guys, this is the place to be if you want to catch a Braves game. And even on a hot night like tonight, you can have a chance to go inside, get some AC, and take a breather.
How's your stomach, Wiley?
I've needed a few breathers.
Yeah, that's the spot. By the way, I believe that couple that is sitting behind Wiley, we heard from yesterday, kind of one of our regular social media folks that tweeted us. There's a lady, I believe they were Dr. Lynn. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes.
She sent us a picture and said she was at the game with her husband. I believe that is her right there behind Wiley. So,
and what a thrill for them to be there with Wiley. Look.
Yeah, well, I think Wiley just asked.
It is Dr. Lynn.
Yeah, I knew it.
They're sitting right here.
You can say that I recognized her from her post.
CJ,
what a moment.
CJ noticed you. We appreciate the activity on social media. Yeah. She says, of course. You said, I'm your favorite? Is that what you said?
All right, cut him off.
No, she did not say
Ian
that.
Hamilton is in.
Right.
There's important business to be conducted. The infield is in. There are runners at second and third. And Jordan Walker, who had that 3-run homer back in the first, takes the first pitch he sees, hits it through the left side. Now they're going to hold the runner at third. But the hit parade continues here in the 7th for the Cardinals, and it's now 8-5.
Aggressive here from Jordan Walker against Ian Hamilton. Now the slider is to go to pitch, but it's a first pitch, two-seam fastball. Inner third there, but we mentioned Jordan Walker, just how well he has been hitting the baseball. It's a nice short leg kick to get to this fastball from Hamilton, and with the infield in, and even if it wasn't, that ball was likely going to get through.
And Lars Nootbaar to the plate, the 9th batter to come to the plate this inning for the Cardinals. Gosh, and for Dylan Lee, that's the first time this year he's allowed 3 hits in a game. It's the first time that he has allowed multiple earned runs since August of last year.
And for this bullpen, which has been so good, the most runs that they'd allowed in any single inning has been 6, which is still the most. They've allowed 5 so far in this inning, with some work to do with this first and third and just 1 out.
Nootbaar is 0 for 3, and now he is 1 for 4. He's going to head for second, and he's safe. 6 runs and counting here in the 7th.
Well, this is the slider that we were talking about here. Not a bad one. It's down. It's got more of that slider that goes straight down, very similar to Tyler Kinley. A little bit of horizontal that you see there. Catching a lot of the plate and hit hard. You see Yaz is all the way at the track by the time he's able to get to that baseball. Wall has not had to endure very many of these from the bullpen this year.
Infield in. Strike to Mason Wynn. 3 for 3 for Wynn tonight. Mason Wynn started this inning off with a single. All those goose eggs in between a busy first inning and now a very busy 7th.
You're looking at 3 big half innings, 2 now by the Cardinals, 1 by the Braves. You often talk about how do you avoid the big inning, right? It's kind of a little science to it. There's a mentality to it for a pitching staff. They were not able to do it in the bottom of the first for the St. Louis Cardinals, and now the Braves have been unable to figure this thing out in the 7th inning.
Off the end of the bat, Walker's coming home. Whoa! Alan Porter's says that Walker avoided the tag of Baldwin.
And you didn't see much of a fight put up by Drake Baldwin. I don't know if he just was even surprised at the call, or if he thinks there's a chance that Walker actually got around the
Atlanta
tag.
is challenging the safe call to play.
Braves are going to challenge.
The throw looked good. Looked like it was on the right side of the plate. Looked like there was plenty of time here as Matt Olson comes up with the back pick. Gets it right there to Drake Baldwin. And you see how, let's see, this is going to be your best look. It looks like he's right there. It's just a matter of Walker figure out a way to get around it. He may have. Is there any contact right there? One arm in, one arm out. The glove strings do not count.
I don't think he got him the first time. But did he hit that left hand before the right hand touched? He missed him there. Did he get him?
Ooh, that's close. Kind of wish this went the other way. It looks like the heel of his hand may have gotten the plate.
I can tell you from that angle, you're not going to be able to change it. You're going to have. This is the only look we've seen where maybe.
Misses there. Does he get it back? Oh, maybe.
It's so close, CJ.
Yeah, that's your look right there. I mean, Alan Porter is right on top of this thing. The second attempt by Drake.
After review, the call on the field stands. Runner is safe. Atlanta will lose their challenge.
I think Drake barely got him.
Yeah.
But it's so close that they say it stands. Well, you got to credit Walker for a good slide. What a night it's been for him here in front of his friends and family in Atlanta.
I mean, you think about how big he is, how long those arms are. He had to bring that left arm in as far as he did to just barely avoid the tag. There was really nothing that Drake Baldwin did wrong.
And Mom and Dad, Derek and Katrina, are liking it. The other 38,000 or so here not as happy. So runners at the corners. And Church now, who had the 2-run homer earlier in this inning. At the time, that tied the game at 5. Hard hit. Jarvis has it, though. And a double play to end a nightmarish top of the 7th for the Atlanta Braves. Going to need to rally through the rest of the ball game as we send you to the stretch.
Welcome to the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Service, savings, sustainability. It's that simple.
Welcome to the stretch, fueled by Georgia Natural Gas. Nick Green and Peter Moylan here with you. Peter, the starting pitching for Atlanta has had a tough go, at least in the month of June. So far in July, it's been pretty good. Yesterday, Raylo had a nice start, encouraging start again tonight for Hurston Waldrop. What do you think about his night?
I loved it. I thought the first inning was obviously a little bit rough. He went through the first 4 hitters with literally no off-speed pitches working for him. Was able to bounce back big time in that second inning. And honestly, the middle innings were really, really good. I thought the sinker, the cutter, and the curveball showed up very nicely in the middle innings. He was getting a ton of swing and miss. He was locating better. I keep mentioning the sinker because I also really think that could be his get out of jail free card when he needs it, when you need a big pitch, when you fall behind and you need to get some early contact or some late contact at any point. I think that's going to be a big pitch for him. But that cut fastball and that curveball when he was out in front, there was a lot of trouble with the off speed early and late, but he locked it in and was able to get through 5 1/3, and I thought that's a big performance for him.
Yeah, nice job by him. The offense has a little bit of work to do here. They had the 5-run first inning. They've been held scoreless since. Let's get you back to Braves baseball after a quick word from our friends at Georgia Natural Gas.
When it comes to natural gas in Georgia, G&G leads the league. We keep it simple with great rates that save you money. We even make it easy to reduce your carbon footprint with greener life. Sign up in minutes at gng.com. It's that simple.
Back inside Truist Park, going to the bottom of the 7th. We've talked a lot about the new coaching staff for the Braves in 2026. And for Ozzie Albies and Tony Diaz, it was a long-awaited combination because Tony Diaz was managing in the Arizona Fall League back in 2016, and Ozzie was poised to be the featured prospect of his team, the Salt River Rafters. But Ozzie in the Southern League playoffs, Mississippi Braves, had a broken elbow, and so he missed that time in the Fall League. And Tony's been particularly excited to get a chance to work with Ozzie on his defense, and feels like he's making up for a relationship that should have begun 10 years ago.
As Baldwin bounces out, well, we've talked a lot about all the different coaches, and it was such an adjustment, obviously, going from those years with Brian Snitker to Walt Weiss. Not an adjustment in style, obviously Walt had been there, but when you bring in so many new coaches, you don't know how all of that's going to gel. But Tony's another one that has just fit in so well down there.
He has, and he is one of these coaches that you don't notice because he's always working, right? We don't see him around a lot because he's constantly getting after it, and always a real positive presence too. When you see him, it's always a treat to run into Tony and exchange a word or two with him. But he is clearly a coach. You've heard me say this a lot when you look for out of coaches. You want to know guys that are all the way in, and they are all about the 26 players that are on the roster that day. He is easily one of those guys.
And here is the aforementioned Ozzie Albies.
Yeah, by the way, guys, Ozzie's still got that screw in his elbow that he had put in 2016. Says it's never coming out. It hadn't affected his career.
Can he go through the metal detector at the airport? I don't know. Jojo Romero, the lefty, is come on here for the bottom of the 7th for St. Louis. His real name is Joseph, but his grandfather, who is from Mexico, had trouble saying Joseph, started calling him Jojo, so it stuck with him ever since he was a little kid. So Fermin stays in the game over at third, by the way, in the place of Jordan. And Romero strikes out Ozzie Albies, 2 away. Here's a quick message from Delta.
From Braves country to the world. Delta, official airline of the Atlanta Braves.
Also, Pedro Pages is back there catching now, so it's a new battery altogether for St. Louis.
They're down to just 1 on their bench, and they got very aggressive in that last inning, and it worked out for them.
Yeah, 7-run top of the 7th.
Challenging a strike call.
Challenge here from Matt Olson.
It's close. I think he's going to get it, but it's going to be real close.
Powered by T-Mobile.
Call's confirmed. Atlanta has 1 challenge remaining.
It's been that kind of a 7th inning for the Braves tonight. In the air, deep to left. Newbar drifting and finding and taking a 1-2-3 7th for Romero and the Cardinals. Well, before the game, one of our Delta Sky 360 Club supervisors, Don Wagner, was awarded our MLB Home Run Service recipient for the first half of the season, honoring outstanding long-serving game day staff members across baseball who go above and beyond in fan care and service. So congrats to Don Wagner. So many great friendly faces around this ballpark that we get to interact with, and Don is another one. Hamilton's going to still be out there in this 10-5 ball game in the 8th as he faces Pages. Pages comes up swinging. This one's going to go foul.
You swing at that first pitch slider right there in that location. That tells me you were planning on swinging on the first pitch no matter what. That thing was up and in off the plate. Sawdust with that bat.
Oh, a challenge.
Catcher is challenging the strike call.
You've been hearing the tarps off section. Now you've seen them.
Call's overturned. Atlanta has 1 remaining.
Tarps off craze in Major League Baseball started in St. Louis, so maybe it's the tarps off section here in Atlanta against St. Louis that will be the magic formula in the late innings.
It's the first time, and I'm very careful about what I say here, but it's the first time I've seen some women up in that section. They have their tarps on, of course. And that seems to have been kind of a male dominated thing. Those guys are up in their game a little bit.
Tread lightly.
Yeah. Not just the fact that they're in the company of some females tells me they're showing a little game these days.
This one down directly in front of us. Stays 1-2. Mentioned the Cardinals carry 3 catchers. This comes in handy on a night like tonight. Pages somehow gets that between Olsen and the line for a single.
It's starting to feel like one of these kind of nights now right here where you get this slide. I mean, he barely hit that off the end of his bat. It's almost the kind of the top of it. 63 miles an hour, and just found himself some grass in the outfield. He's laughing about it.
That hit the bat of Fermin. 0-1.
His pinch at bat was a big one in that 7th inning. Dylan Lee had thrown him. Was that the 0-2 changeup? I think that he ended up hitting. It was in a good count. Phil, after the home run, you were still within striking distance, and then things really kind of started to open up after that.
Yeah, 7 runs here in the 7th. That's the most runs the bullpen has given up in any game, and it came in 1 inning. A bullpen that has been the best in baseball this year. But the Cardinals putting up 7 in the 7th against that pen tonight.
Most of these misses, and the slider wasn't a miss, that ended up being the base hit. We are seeing a lot of arm side misses right now from Ian Hamilton.
He is soaked out there.
Now, if he can command that fastball in, it's a good pairing to go with that slider if he can get the slider away.
2-seamer that was going in there hot. Thankfully, appears everyone's okay. Yeah, they're smiling. That's a good sign. Boy, that was about 100 off the bat. Hamilton ready with the payoff pitch. Fermin reaches for it. They got to get 2. No, Fermin beats it out. That would have been the 4th double play for the Braves defense, but not to be.
Walt's got the hand up just in case, right? Go ahead and take a quick peek at it. Tell you what, and obviously now this is turning a little bit sour this game, but definitely one of the positives has been the defense of Jarvis. He's looked really good with the glove over at short. That's Matt Olson giving it everything he has.
And Jarvis 1 for 3 at the plate, but He's looked comfortable up there at the plate tonight.
Agreed. And with that kind of defense, and we'll see ultimately, Walt knows this position as good as anybody in baseball. That was his position over at short. To listen to his evaluation of what he has seen, and you don't just do it over one game, but I got to believe he's pretty impressed. And he may have made the play of the year when we were in Los Angeles. Again, that play that he made in short left field on that line drive, he was parallel with the ground when he caught it.
Superman catch at Dodger Stadium, certainly a memory that he'll never forget.
Oh,
grounder. Oh, Olsen, uncharacteristic, lets it get by him. But Fermin was starting to go and then slipped. Had Hamilton noticed it, he could have gone and picked him off, but instead, after all that in air, the runners are at the corners.
And somebody might have been yelling step off, right? When you see that happen, usually somebody in the infield will try to get your attention. The glove just coming up a little bit quick. We just don't see it from Matt Olson. Looked like that should have been an easy out or an easy double play to end the inning.
And that's Matt's patented double play, where he fields it, he does that quick pirouette, throws to second, then covers the bag, but unfortunately an error on Olsen.
James Karinchak now taking some tosses down in the Braves bullpen. The issue now you run into here a little bit, and we'll see ultimately how the game finishes and who ends up throwing and how much, but it's Grant Holmes scheduled to go tomorrow. We know Grant has been closer to that 4 or 5 inning pitcher, and so you may have some innings that you have to eat tomorrow. They'll assess the bullpen once this one is completely done.
Jarvis, another opportunity, and there's the double play, 4th by the Braves tonight. 10-5 as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Well, today's Thursday, so tomorrow is the
Friday Night Showdown,
presented by Kaiser Permanente, with the Mets coming to town for that rare 4-game wraparound series that will go through Monday. Then the Braves will hit the road to Pittsburgh, to St. Louis, and then it'll be the All-Star break. This game was a lot more fun in the 6th inning. Let's see if the Braves can get some late inning magic here, starting with Michael Harris.
Yeah, ideally you pick up a couple here, put yourself in position to have a 9th inning where you have a chance to come all the way back.
That'll start it. First hit of the night for Harris.
Good left on left approach here from Michael Harris. He's got all kinds of room on the left side. You got a lefty that is not particularly good with lefties, but tries to crowd you with the 2-seam fastball, and that's what that pitch was right there, the sinker at 94.
And that is going to be it for Romero. We'll tell you about the change when we get back to Truist Park. Good night for tarps off with a heat advisory here in Atlanta. It's also a good night for a message from Truist.
Leaders in banking, unwavering in care. Truist. Learn how knowledge and care can work for you.
And hopefully a good night for a Braves comeback. George Soriano is in.
Good fastball, averages 97. The changeup, though, that is his best pitch. It's where most of his strikeouts have come from this year.
Slider to Dubon.
It's actually been a backwards split guy. Good strikeout rate, but even higher when he gets in there against the lefties. 4 home runs allowed, 3 of those from right-handed hitters.
So slider, now a sweeper, 0-2. Soriano bounced around on waivers this offseason. He actually 3 weeks was in the Braves organization in January, but eventually traded from Washington to St. Louis and been with the Cardinals since opening day.
See how he starts really close, but he's not necessarily a crossfire delivery guy. By the time that front foot gets down, it's straight at the hitter. He's trying to create some deception when he is set.
He's set now and ready for a 2-2 pitch. Full count. Dom Smith in the on deck circle. Braves got to 50 wins last night. Third team in baseball to do it. Then the Rays joined them later last night. If they're going to get to 51 tonight, some work to do here. Payoff pitch. He walked him. Dom Smith is our Whataburger, what a play as he comes to the plate here with 2 on and nobody out.
He certainly has enjoyed his time at Truist Park. You see what he has done. OPS over 800. And how about with runners in scoring position? He's got one right now, 10 for 22.
He had that 3-run double back in the first inning off the leg of Dustin May. Braves scored all 5 runs in that first inning.
There's that good changeup that I was talking about. Just a 190 batting average against it, and he throws it a lot to the lefties, over 40%. That is his go-to.
That's outside, 2-1. Slider to even the count here to Dom Smith. Dom's going to collect his thoughts, wipe some sweat off that face and forehead. Down, challenge. They're going to lose this one.
Catcher is challenging the ball call.
And the Braves and Cardinals.
Paz knows it.
Yeah, he knows it. He was shaking his head.
St. Louis has 1 challenge remaining.
Now both teams with 1 left. Each pitch becoming seemingly bigger here as the Braves try to mount a rally in the 8th. But the 3-2 slider is hit to Walker for the first out. Those guys know each other. Harris telling Walker, calm down. You didn't need to throw it like that. I wasn't going anywhere. Riley 1 for 3. 34 games without a homer for Riley, longest drought in his big league career. Does have a couple of hits in the series, though, including that one in the first tonight. To third. There's one. Wide throw. They will not get two. Like Fermin might have had a little more time, but the sidearm throws what he went with, and Riley reaches.
And that's big because you want to get a lefty to the plate here. Mentioned some of these struggles against, I take it back, some of the issues that you have because of the split differential here, but you're absolutely right. He tried to rush that a little bit from down low, and that's a tough throw to make from that angle on the run while you're also stepping on the bag, but you avoid the double play to keep this inning going.
He has brought in a run in that 5-run first, but here he's going to bounce to short. Still 10-5. We're on to the ninth.
The Braves out of the bullpen. Now, CJ has described Karinchak as a right-handed pitcher with a left-handed brain. And CJ, I've got to add to that story. Going back to his days in the New York Penn League, James Karinchak was struggling with Mahoning Valley back in minor league baseball, and he had a tough time trying to get things going. So he decided to start drinking his water from a gasoline can like the one you see in front of you. It didn't work, but Tony Mansolino knew about that story. He shared it with Chris Sale, and Chris Sale dropped off that gasoline can at Karinchak's locker, giving him a little bit of grief for some past superstitions.
That's kind of amazing. Not recommended. Do not drink water out of a gas can.
I can actually kind of taste it in a weird way as he's talking about that.
It's a strange one.
He was trying to throw heat.
Now, if it's a gas can that has not been filled with gas and it's off the shelf, that's one thing. But if it's been filled with gas at any point.
But even then, right, it gets in your mind.
Yeah, right.
That this is meant for gas.
Nice. Into the game here. The ninth inning is Karinchak. Speaking of superstitions, it was discussed after the game yesterday what Mauricio Dubon brought to the clubhouse. The guys before the game yesterday with the recent struggles, they were burning sage. They lit an uncrossed purple candle designed to remove hexes, curses, and jinxes. It worked yesterday. Yeah. It was starting to work today, but unfortunately the Braves ran into some trouble there in the seventh.
Whatever it takes, right? Those things are all in good fun. And even what we saw with the gas can, the idea there, of course, is just to take a little bit of the pressure. If you feel like guys are starting to feel tense, have a little bit of fun with things like that.
Yeah, good clarification. Dubon did not actually believe that any of that was going to change the Braves' fortunes. He was just trying to lighten the mood in that clubhouse. This is the candle, though, that was used.
I haven't heard of that before. Protection from evil. Jinx removing, health, wealth. Yeah, all sounds great. Fast luck. Did that say alleged on the top?
Yes, it did. Oh, boy. High and deep to right. That one is not coming back. Burleson with his 14th of the year.
We've seen this from him, and that is very aggressive swings regardless of pitch, regardless of count. And this is the curveball from Karinchak that is pretty much right down the middle, and that big swing was able to barrel up that baseball. It was a high one. It's a 41-degree launch angle. You don't see that very often for home runs.
Stayed in the air a long time. Walker started the night for St. Louis with a 3-run homer in the first. This one's going to stay in the yard for the first out. Lars Newbark could be one of those interesting trade deadline decisions. He's under team control through next year. You got the Cardinals again right there. They're playing well enough to get into the playoffs. And he's going to single out to center field as they try to get to 6 games above 500 tonight.
Those are Newt chants that you were hearing there, not boos. There's a decent amount of Cardinals fans that have been out for this series.
Got to get him out of here.
Yeah, and we fortunately hear it a little bit more as it's gotten a little bit quieter and later in this game, and so the Newt fans, they get to be heard.
Some of those St. Louis decisions for the deadline, I'm sure, will be sorted out here over the next couple of weeks. Deadline's not until August 3rd, so you're still just over a month away.
It's one of those things that they are a surprise contender. Subtracted a lot. Payroll's gone down. They got some really good young players. They're in this thing clearly and have a shot at a wild card right now. But you don't necessarily stray from the plan either. You mentioned a guy like Newbar. If the right fit was there, I think the Cardinals would jump on it.
Sure, they've got players they want to protect with a lot of young guys on that roster. We mentioned it's the youngest roster in baseball. And after this, they will hop on the plane and go to Chicago to take on their rival, the Cubs, for a 3-game series over the holiday weekend. Four-pitch walk for Mason Wynn.
I'll take it for what it's worth. The Philadelphia Phillies did lose tonight, and so at worst the lead stays the same here for the Atlanta Braves at 2.5.
Yeah, the Phillies now 49-39, 10 games over. Big series for Church, including the 2-run homer tonight. But the Braves defense, headlined by Jarvis, has been good. Take a look at our Comcast Business Defend the Mound. 4 double plays induced, most since the 2024 campaign.
5 is the team record in a 9-inning game, going back to 1966, since they have been here in Atlanta.
Well, could be set up for another one here. By the way, thinking of the Phillies, CJ, I was looking it up yesterday. So they are just the 4th team in Major League Baseball history to go from 10 games under 500 to 10 games over before the All-Star break.
That's been pretty impressive in what they have done. A lot of that has to do with what has happened with the starting pitching.
But as you said, thankfully they lost tonight, so the Braves are not going to have that gap close anymore. But the other three teams, the 51 Giants, the 55 Red Sox, and then the 2018 Dodgers went from 10 under to 10 over before the All-Star break, and now Philly's joining them.
It happened fast. They were a 5th place team, 10.5 games out. I believe it was April 24th was the date, somewhere around there. Felt like it was going to be a lost season, but they got it together, and currently 3 since they are done for the night.
And how about the Marlins winning 20 games in June? They'd only done that one other time in franchise history where they had won 20 games in a month. But they took it on the chin tonight.
There's a lot of runs scored in that series that they had, not surprisingly, in Colorado.
High bouncer. Karinchak covers for the second out. The catcher Pedro Pajes with 2 in scoring position. And Riley in foul ground will come in to grab it. 11-5. The Cards get another insurance run here at the top of the ninth. Is brought to you by Chevrolet, proud partner of the Atlanta Braves. By the Georgia Lottery, today could be the day. And also by Georgia Power. Score big savings at georgiapower.com/tips. Thursday night in Atlanta, finishing up this series with the Cardinals. Cardinals 3 outs away from taking 2 of 3 here at Truist. Let's look ahead to the next series. 4 games against the New York Mets starting tomorrow, and Grant Holmes, as you mentioned earlier, CJ, will get the ball.
Yeah, some good matchups here for the Braves with Chris Sale going in game 2. Ronaldo was great in his start that we saw yesterday. We know the Mets have been struggling here a bit. Just the one lefty that you're going to get in Sean Manaea does kind of make me wonder a little bit what we're going to see from Jarvis going forward. He gets the start here tonight because of the righty that was on the mound. The defense was excellent, and perhaps we see him a little bit more in that Mets series. You see Bryce Elder there on the left is going to get skipped 1 turn in the rotation. There was some talk about the velocity being down a couple of ticks for him in his last one.
Yeah, that combined with the recent struggles, an opportunity to give him a breather and hopefully reset Bryce Elder moving forward. Matt Swanson pitching now for the Cardinals as he faces Jarvis.
32 games on the year with a high ERA up above 7. 2-seam fastball sweeper cutter that you get from this right-hander. Like that was a little 2-seam fastball talk going on there between Bryce Elder and Grant Holmes. Of course, we know when the movement is right that Bryce Elder's got a really, really good one.
Sometimes I just wish I could be a fly on the dugout wall to listen into those guys at times like this.
Always encouraging, though, right? You have a game like this that gets away with you. It gets a little bit long. You're down by 6, and see some baseball conversations still going on in that Braves dugout.
Chris Sale continuing to get to know Joey Bart. They've now worked together a couple of times, but always good for pitcher and catcher to share some secrets. So third big league game for Jim Jarvis. He's played nice defensively. He's 1 for 3 at the plate, and he's awaiting a payoff pitch. Fouled away.
As far as the offense goes, what he was doing this year in AAA in Gwinnett was pretty impressive. 6 home runs in his 348 plate appearances. You don't necessarily look at him as a pop guy, but the on base was over 400. Batting average at 313. Good numbers with the bat.
That 93 hits leads the International League right now. That's how good of a season in Gwinnett it has been for Jarvis. 32 steals, 3rd in the league. A lot of numbers to like.
20 doubles in there, right? I mean, you'll take that, some contact, getting on base. Pop you one once in a while with that plus defense.
But he's frozen there with a sweeper. A quick shout out to Peter Moylan, who brought us some unbelievable cake to the booth tonight. He said it's from a Braves fantasy camper, Justin Retner, and Justin's mom, Lanita Horn, actually made that. That thing was phenomenal.
She made that?
Yeah.
I thought that came from a bakery.
I did too.
That was really, really good.
Because it looked so good. It looked like it came from a bakery, and it tasted equally as good. There are the boys.
I mean, he brought us a whole cake, so Peter didn't try any of it. It was delicious.
And he said that Lanita brought some cookies to them recently, and those were also fantastic. Those did not make their way to the booth.
They can have the cake, he said. Let them eat cake. And how about a little shout out to Austin, who gave us this nice handwritten note. Young fan, very kind to you and I.
I know I was hoping there was a return address to write him back, but Austin, if you're watching or somebody that you know is watching, thank you for the kind letter.
Said he lives in Florida, watches every game. My favorite part is at the very end, he said nice things about us, and then he just said, I feel like all other sports announcers are serious and boring. But you two make it fun, so we appreciate that.
We take your bias. You know, we'll take all your bias. Bring it.
So we're not above cake. We're not above nice handwritten letters that say thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was awesome. So thank you, Austin.
Yeah, thank you, Austin. We don't deserve the thank you. You do for being kind.
Everybody else is boring. I like that. Not true. A lot of announcers that we certainly do appreciate around the league, but we like the thought.
All right, Svanson's going to try to strike out the side, and in this game here, he got Jarvis and then Baldwin. Now here's Ozzie down 0-1. This one should be playable. It is. It was an adventure. But Burleson makes a catch as Weatherhold ends up on his back, and it also ends the ball game. A big 7-run 7th was the difference as the Cardinals win the series 11-5. Here is the final.
Yeah, things were looking pretty good there with the Braves up 5-3. Good news that Hurston Waldrop was solid pitching into the 6th inning. We talked a lot about Jim Jarvis and the great defense, and just something we have not seen from this Braves bullpen with that 7-run 7th. Ultimately, the bullpen allowed 8 runs an off night for what has been an excellent bullpen, unfortunately, which cost the Braves here this evening.
You saw Nick and Pete. They will take you the rest of the way, and then we will talk to you tomorrow with the Mets coming to town for 4, and hopefully Wiley is feeling better after eating all those burgers. For Wiley Ballard, for CJ Nitkowski, and the rest of our fantastic crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin signing off and saying so long, everybody.